Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side
Guys,
are you on?
elbows are about giving.
Which side
I have always... I didn't actually always say that until yesterday
Yeah.
when I was elbow pilled.
You've been elbow pilled, and you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
We've figured it out. Everything makes sense now.
Elbows are the center of the universe.
Yes.
And I, for one, think that they should be worshipped.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And because, without an elbow,
Mm-hmm.
how is one to give?
Exactly. The hinge joint, really.
Exactly.
And triangles are the sturdiest structure. And if you turn your arm up, that's a triangle.
Right there.
Right there.
So, appreciate your elbows, folks.
Yeah.
And what they can do, not only for you, but for the others around you.
Yeah, no. I think... And that's what I think separates our elbow cult from, other potential cults that we may or may not be talking about today.
Yes.
Is that our cult is really centered around giving and not receiving necessarily.
Exactly.
Although you do use your elbows to receive as well.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's about giving.
Giving. It's giving elbow.
It's giving elbow. Hey guys. It's Pride Month.
It is Pride Month. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride to all my LGBTs out there.
Mm-hmm. We should be dropping a Pride episode at some point this month.
Yes, we will.
We just haven't quite gotten there yet.
We definitely will. Next week, we'll be talking about some televangelism, some mega churches, and then probably the week after that, we'll drop a juicy little Pride app.
A thick Pride app, succulent, I would even say. Yeah.
Cooked to tender perfection.
Yeah. If you can't tell, Phoebe and I are a little tired.
Yeah.
We had a long day yesterday, but it was great. It was lovely. We had a picnic with our friends.
Yeah. It was a great weekend in general.
Absolutely.
Lots of celebrating to do.
Yeah.
But today we have for you a little bonus episode of sorts. We are going to be reading to you a little nugget that was dropped a few episodes ago. We're going to be reading to you the Introduction to Scientology Ethics by Mr. L Ron Hubbard himself, the book that Taylor got for me at Savers.
I did.
For $1.99.
It was $1.99, which I thought was truly a shame. That, I mean, these should just be these should be preserved. These should be hundreds of dollars.
No, these are the holy texts.
Exactly. $1.99. I don't know. Just seems disrespectful.
For enlightenment?
Yeah, it seems disrespectful.
It is.
But
to our boy L Ron.
True. Yeah. Our Lord and Savior.
I always thought his name was ELRON, L Ron.
Oh yeah.
His first name was just L Ron.
The road to El Dorado.
The road to El Ronado.
Ronado.
But yeah, turns out it's not. Anyway, so let's read you a little bit of this Scientology book. I have never seen a piece of Scientology writing, I'm realizing.
Yeah.
I've looked at their website when I talked about them on the podcast, but I've never this is the first piece of actual Scientology issued
text.
It
does it looks like a Bible or
it totally does.
Like a Book of Mormon almost. It's got the nice hard blue covering. It's got a little emblem. Surprised there's not a bookmark ribbon in it or something like that.
Oh, there should have been.
Yeah,
there should have been.
Yeah, no, it definitely they're making it look hella like a religious text.
Yeah. Okay. So chapter 1 is the basics of ethics. Throughout the ages, man has struggled with the subjects of right and wrong and ethics and justice. The dictionary defines ethics. Wow. We're getting right into it.
It's the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines integrity as
defines ethics as the study of the general nature of morals and of the specific moral choices to be made by the individual in his relationship with others. The same dictionary defines justice as conformity to moral right or to reason, truth, or fact, or the administration of law. As you can see, these terms have become confused. All philosophies, from time immemorial, have involved themselves with these subjects, and they have never solved them. That they have been solved in Dianetics and Scientology is a breakthrough of magnitude.
Whoa.
They solved it, y'all.
Hundreds and millions of years of humanity philosophizing about things, but man, this science fiction author, boy.
L Ron Hubbard figured it out.
Of course.
And we're about to tell you all about it.
I would love to know.
The solution lay first in their separation. From there, it could go forward to a workable technology for each. So this is already making a lot of sense.
Absolutely a ton of sense.
Yeah. Also, I just want to note that they have, I guess I should say he, because it was L Ron Hubbard who wrote this. He has, any word that is a slightly large word, he makes a little note and defines the word at the bottom of the page. So for instance, the word philosophies is defined at the bottom of the page.
Oh no.
So that's what he thinks of the people reading
the
this
readers.
book,
Yeah, he's
they won't know what that means.
The word philosophies too, okay.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Ethics consists simply of the actions an individual takes on himself. It is a personal thing. When one is ethical or has his ethics in, it is by his own determinism and is done by himself. Justice is the action taken on the individual by the group when he fails to take these actions himself.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know if I agree. I guess I can agree with that.
I guess ethics are a personal thing, but I wouldn't necessarily I don't know, ethics can also be studied and there's ethical principles and stuff. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I feel that's morality more than anything though, right? Your own personal morality.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. History. These subjects are actually the basis of all philosophy, but in any study of the history of philosophy, it is plain that they have puzzled philosophers for a long time. The early Greek followers of Pythagoras tried to apply their mathematical theories to the subject of human conduct and ethics. Sometime later, Socrates tackled the subject. He demonstrated that all those who were claiming to show people how to live were unable to defend their views or even define the terms they were using. He argued that we must know what courage and justice, law and government are before we can be brave or good citizens or just or good rulers. This was fine, but then he refused to provide definitions. He said that all sin was ignorance, but did not take the necessary actions to rid man of his ignorance.
Okay. I don't know.
Mm-mm-mm.
I feel this book kind of oozes of took a philosophy class in college
very
once,
much
you know?
So.
I feel it's very
yeah.
I don't know, name drop Socrates and
yeah. And it's okay, bro, you're gonna drop Socrates of all of the philosophers that you couldn't come up with a better one.
Pythagoras and
yeah.
I don't know.
Socrates' pupil Plato adhered to his master's theories, but insisted that these definitions could only be defined by pure reason. This meant that one had to isolate oneself from life in some ivory tower and figure it all out. Not very useful to the man in the street. Also, note that they have defined the word isolate. Aristotle also got involved with ethics. He explained unethical behavior by saying that man's rationality became overruled by his desire. This chain continued down the ages. Philosopher after philosopher tried to resolve the subjects of ethics and justice. Unfortunately, until now, there has been no workable solution, as evidenced by the declining ethical level of society. You see, it is no small breakthrough that has been made in this subject in the last 30 years or so. We have defined the terms which Socrates omitted to do, and we have a workable technology that anyone can use to get himself out of the mud The natural laws behind this subject have been found and made available for all to use. Titillating.
Very. I feel like this is like funnier when you know that like it's L Ron Hubbard and he like you know like was in a sex cult with like fucking Aleister Crowley and like
oh my god
kidnapped his own child and like then you have this guy being like, I have found the secrets to ethics. Like I figured out ethics. You know, any morally gray situation you can think of. I know. I got
the
it.
answer.
Yeah, no, I figured it out. Like,
and I'm really hoping
we're done for the day, boys.
Clap the dust off your hands. I'm really hoping that the workable technology he's talking about is the like e-meter.
Oh yeah.
I'm praying that's what he's talking about here.
What is it? Dianetics. Dianetics.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Ethics is so native to the individual that when it goes off the rails, he will always seek to overcome his own lack of ethics. They have defined the words off the rails. Like, why? Who doesn't know who's reading this book? Who is this for?
I guess, like, well, I mean, I don't know. I was going to say, like, maybe elderly people, but off the rails isn't a new slang term. Like,
he also defined the word tech. Do you want to know what the definition is?
Please, so
technology.
Bad. That's all it says.
Yeah. They just wanted to make sure that you knew that that's just the shortened form of technology.
I'm glad that he put that there. That one was hard to parse out.
No, I couldn't have, he knows he has an ethics blind spot to the moment he develops it. At the moment he starts trying to put ethics in on himself, and to the degree that he can envision long-term survival concepts, he may be successful, even though lacking the actual technology of ethics. All too often, however, the bank is triggered by an out ethics situation, and if the individual has no tech with which to handle it analytically, his handling is to mock up his motivators. In other words, he tends to believe or pretend that something was done to him that prompted or justified his out ethics action. And at that point, he starts downhill. Okay, this is kind of boring.
Also, I feel like it's weird to, like, equate, like, something as, like, I don't know, like, spiritual. Like, even if you're not, like, a spiritual person, but, like, something as emotional as, like, ethics, which are, like, based so heavy on, like, human empathy to, like, technology, you know? Being like, you gotta have the tech to know if things are ethical. And it's like, do you?
Yeah.
Do you really, though?
Yeah,
like,
I think that, like,
I don't know.
This is something within human beings that we figure out by like action and reaction. Yeah. I just saw the name Hitler, so I'm really excited for this next paragraph over here. Basic nature of man. No matter how criminal an individual is, he will be trying, one way or another, to put ethics in on himself. This explains why Hitler invited the world to destroy Germany. He had the whole war won before September 1939, before he had declared war. The Allies were giving him everything he wanted. He had one of the finest intelligence organizations that ever walked. He had Germany well on the way to getting her colonies back, and the idiot declared war. And he just caved himself and Germany right in. His brilliance was going at a mad rate in one direction, and his native sense of ethics was causing him to cave himself in at a mad rate in the other direction.
I mean, okay, I mean, there was like the appeasement, which was like when Britain was like, yeah, don't fuck with Germany, like we don't want to start shit, you know? But like, I don't, like, Hitler's whole like thing was like, Germany should rule the world because we're the best people, you know? Like, that was, like, his ideology. I don't know that it was necessary. Like, I don't think his goal ever was, like, let me just restore Germany to, like, its post-World War I self. Like, I think his goal, like, from the get-go was, like, let's make a white Aryan ethno-state.
Yes, very much.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say, like, Hitler got too ambitious, but I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. It's always bold to mention Hitler.
Yeah.
In any sort of like writing. They also defined who Hitler was for you.
Good. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering if it was Billy Hitler.
Yes.
Hitler's cousin that lived in America.
Right.
So it's Adolf Hitler,
it's
right?
Adolf.
Okay,
yeah.
No, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just had to make sure.
Dictator of Germany from 1933 to 1945.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That one.
That Adolf
Hitler.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So confused.
The individual who lacks any ethics in technology is unable to put in ethics on himself and restrain himself from contra-survival actions, so he caves himself in. And the individual is not going to come alive unless he gets hold of the basic tech of ethics and applies it to himself and others. There it is again.
Mm-hmm.
He may find it a little unpalatable at first, but when you're dying of malaria, you don't usually complain about the taste of quinine?
I don't know. Is that
something to treat
medicine?
malaria?
Yeah.
Thank God they've defined it for me. The one time I actually did need that. You're not going to complain about the taste of quinine. You may not like it, but you sure drink it. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we could sit and like pick apart all of these philosophical arguments, but also like, is anybody listening to this podcast like gonna get Scientology pilled from this? Like,
no.
Yeah, like I think we all know it's kind of silly. And that this guy is a fucking, science fiction author.
Yes, and let's keep that in mind. Okay, here we go. This part says something about a breakthrough. The breakthrough in Scientology is that we do have the basic technology of ethics. For the first time, man can learn how to put his own ethics in and climb back up the chute. This is a brand new discovery. Before Scientology, it had never seen the light of day anywhere.
Oh my God.
It marks a turning point in the history of philosophy. The individual can learn this technology, learn to apply it to his life, and can then put his own ethics in, change conditions, and start heading upwards towards survival under his own steam. I hope you will learn to use this technology very well for your own sake, for the sake of those around you, and for the sake of this culture, the future of this culture as a whole. Will you tell us what it is?
So that was like the intro, right? Or chapter 1, I guess.
I mean, I'm like, what is this? What is this technology?
We gotta find out, dog.
I know.
I love it.
All right. We'll just move right on then. Ethics, justice, and the dynamics. Perhaps now we will learn what this secret technology is. I have a feeling that we won't probably until
way later,
more than halfay through the book.
Well, they gotta get you hooked, and then
exactly.
It's like the twist in a movie. Like you have the twist right at the beginning.
It's like a self-help guru or self-help like public speaker shilling something to you where they keep telling you like I have the answers. I have all of the answers. And then they never really directly tell you what those answers are because they don't actually have any of the answers.
True. It's like those ads you get when you're watching YouTube or you're on like Instagram and it's like if you want to lose weight, quit running. Do these 5 steps that I've done instead. And then it's like a 30-minute video and like they don't actually say what these are until you like pay for a bunch of shit. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, they gotta really get you in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe we won't even learn what the technology is at all. Maybe we need to give them money first.
I mean, I was gonna say this is just the intro, so
that's true. Is there a
diagram?
Huge graph at the back of the book here.
That's crazy. What does it say?
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's like going over the I guess like the way that Scientology works in terms of like you know how in Mormonism there's like the quorum of the 12 and bishops and this and that. This is like their own version of that.
Whoa, it's like
so you have like L Ron Hubbard as the founder, and then
tiers.
Yeah, exactly. The Church of Scientology International. Underneath that is the executive director. Underneath that, you have the HCO, which God only knows what that means. the org and public, and then it literally breaks down into like, this is like 4 pages.
I was gonna say, it's like a 4-page centerfold.
Yeah.
Whack. You should take a picture of that and post it on the Insta.
I will.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as sexy as a Playboy centerfold, though. Let me tell you.
I'd argue it's sexier. That's salvation, Phoebe.
Oh, Scientology Organizing Board. That's what that is called, as
cute.
seen in the page before.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then I did find this section in the back that says about the author, so I'm really curious to see what L Ron Hubbard has to say about himself.
Really like to hear that.
Okay, so Chapter 2 is Ethics, Justice, and the Dynamics. The dynamics. Survival is accomplished on 8 routes, which are known as the dynamics. And this is something I definitely saw on their website. Scientology is very weird, has this weird thing about, like, survival is man's main driving whatever. And it's like, yeah.
Is it because you were running from the law, L Ron Hubbard? Is that why? Is that the survival you're talking about? Is that why you had to take to the sea because you were wanted in so many countries?
The first dynamic is the urge towards survival as self. The second dynamic is the urge towards survival through sex, both the act and the production and raising of children. The third dynamic is the urge towards survival through groups, social, racial, political. The fourth dynamic is the urge towards survival through the species, mankind. The fifth dynamic is the urge towards survival through animals. The sixth dynamic is the urge towards survival through the matter, energy, space, and time of the physical universe. Whoa.
Oh, of course.
The seventh dynamic is the urge toward survival through spirits. And the eighth dynamic is the urge towards survival through a supreme being. An individual who seeks survival on one or all of these dynamics and fails when he abandons a dynamic as a survival route. Wait, what?
I don't know.
Okay. For instance, one who has abandoned all routes to survival except self, the first dynamic, is in a desperate state. The individual who says, I can live alone, is very interesting. He can't live without lichen and moss. They create soil so that vegetables can grow. He can't live without a lot of odds and ends, like, for instance, trees to make firewood. That is a life form, and he has to be interdependent with this life form. Most important, he is interdependent with the physical universe, as he would sure play the devil surviving as a human organism if he didn't have an earth to walk on. What?
I guess he needs like the earth to be able to like exist, and then
right.
I don't know. This sounds like a college guy who tripped on acid and like is like,
oh,
bro,
very
I
much
figured
so.
out like
very much so.
The universe, dude.
Yeah, the planet, we need it to survive. Yeah,
like it took you an acid trip to be
exactly.
like, whoa, like trees are actually like so sick, dude.
Trees are actually really important,
bro. We should
you
like
understand?
Try to preserve nature. You ever thought about that, dude?
We should make a religion out of that.
Yeah.
The dynamics means simply how many forms of survival are there. The number of dynamics merely adds up to the number of fields or entities a man has to be in cooperation with to get along. The individual is trying to survive one way or the other on these dynamics all at once. Sure, I mean, yeah. This isn't like
is it
mind-blowing.
No, I feel like this, I don't know. Maybe we just have too much like spiritualist stuff nowadays that like we've heard all this before, but maybe back when this was written, I don't know when it was,
I guess
but
that's true.
They were like, holy fucking shit, dude. We all need each other to survive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like that's not a new concept.
I know. It's like maybe you and I are just too woke already.
Yeah. No, let me tell you, dude. Woke mob, that's me. I'm the founder.
I'm trying to see if this has a publishing date. Does it? Does it not? Usually there's like a little page. Oh, wait.
There is a This Book Belongs To, which I think is cute.
I know,
like
yeah, that's
you'd write your
real
name in your Bible.
Oh, here it is. 1989.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes a bit more sense.
There was still quite a bit of grifters in 1989.
Oh, man.
Possibly more.
Okay. No solution is an optimum solution unless it takes into account all the dynamics influenced by it and gives each one its optimum solution.
Wait, what?
No solution is an optimum solution unless it takes into account all the dynamics influenced by it and gives each one its optimum solution. That sounds complicated.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like there's none of the solutions are an optimum solution unless it's an optimum solution is what he's saying. I don't know. This is confusing, Phoebe.
Okay, I know. No need to worry. Here's what L Ron Hubbard has to say. That sounds complicated, but it means if you and Bill were in business together and you tried to do a solution that gave you all the benefit and didn't give Bill any, you would find out that it would not work out. I mean, I think that's just the basic principles of, like, capitalism, which I suppose doesn't work out, but for, like, for you,
theory,
it works out.
Well, and also it's like, that's still not, like, optimum, right? Like, if you're in, like, a business deal, like, you have, like, yeah, like, you would have to fuck over someone else to, like, have the optimum solution, right? I don't know.
It is fundamental in these dynamics that every time you get a solution where the other dynamics aren't taken into account, where their interests aren't taken into account, you get a general failure. As soon as you knock out one of these dynamics on a human being and say, for this individual, this dynamic cannot possibly exist, you get trouble because they all get knocked out. They come down to the same level. In other words, if you cut out half of one dynamic, then you cut out half of the rest of the dynamics. This package of dynamics is very vital to the survival of an individual. And it's just also very interesting, I feel like, that he put that little tidbit in there because, I mean, isn't that exactly what he's doing? Created a business where he is, like, one of the only ones who actually benefits?
I mean, yeah, he's, they take fucking money from, like, everybody else.
Yeah, like an obscene amount of money.
Yeah.
Like, I knew somebody who took a second mortgage on their home. Amount of money.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I would love to, like, interview an ex-Scientology person and just be
too.
like, so what the fuck does this mean? Like,
yeah,
like what did they tell you, like, when you were trying to, like, process this information, like,
exactly,
how did they like dumb it down for you, like, in your little Bible studies?
Yeah,
whatever,
I know. Yeah, how is this, like, fed to you? Because
it'd be so interesting.
I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to know.
Gonna do about the author.
Let's do it.
Hey.
This is what L Ron Hubbard has to say about his own self. Okay. L Ron Hubbard dedicated his life to helping people gain a greater ability to improve conditions. He was an individual committed to discovering. Why is it talking like he's dead?
When did he die?
I don't know.
Because
this was written by him.
Yeah, he's talking. I mean, first off, he's talking about himself in the third person, but
yeah,
it doesn't say that anybody else wrote that part, does it?
Why is it no?
Let me see.
Why is it in past tense? Strange.
Wait.
Anyway, what?
It says he died in January 24th, 1986.
Interesting.
So did someone, like, ghostwrite this for him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or did he, like, have this, like, and it was just, like, published in 1989?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's odd.
Because, yeah, it doesn't have any other authors on here that I see.
Weird.
All right. Anyway. He was an individual committed to discovering the ultimate truths of existence and making this hard-won knowledge known so people everywhere would achieve the spiritual freedom they had always desired, but never before attained. During a lifetime of study and research, he discovered, study and research meaning writing science fiction, he discovered the route to greater personal and spiritual freedom, happiness, and well-being. It is a route not based on ivory tower philosophies, callback to the beginning of the book,
whoa,
but on lifelong experience with people from all walks of life. As Ron said, one doesn't learn about life by sitting in an ivory tower. They really love the ivory tower
analogy there.
Yeah. Thinking about it, one learns about life by being part of it. And that is how he lived. not true at all. That's just
No, he literally,
factually wrong.
Maybe not a literal ivory tower, but he did, in fact, take all of his followers to the sea.
Yes.
They lived on boats.
Yes.
And, like, refueled and just went back out. Like,
yeah.
that's, like, the most ivory tower-ass thing you can do.
I mean, talk about not being a part of life.
Yeah, what the fuck?
He began his quest for knowledge about life at a very early age. Of course he did. When he was 8 years old, he was already well on his way to being a seasoned traveler.
Oh, yes, as an 8-year-old.
Okay, and I'm sure he's taking in all of the many lessons about different cultures and things like that on his 8-year-old travels.
Yeah, it's giving like the Tumblr stories where it's like, I stood up to that bully, the bully
Yes.
that was bullying that kid, and told it, and then everyone clapped. Yeah, that's L Ron Hubbard's life.
In the days before air travel was common, he had traveled 250,000 miles by the age of 19. His adventures included voyages to China, Japan, and other points in the Orient and South Pacific.
Wait, did it say when in the era when air travel was common?
In the days before air travel was common.
Sorry. Fucking big shot. I don't know.
During this time, he became closely acquainted with 21 different races in areas all over the world. Okay. That's a really weird way to put that.
It's odd, but okay.
After returning to the United States, Ron pursued his studies of Western thought and culture at George Washington University, where he was also a member of one of the first classes ever taught on nuclear physics. He realized that neither the Eastern understanding of spiritual matters nor Western scientific knowledge of the material universe contained the full answer to the problems of existence. Despite all of mankind's advances in the physical sciences, a workable technology of the mind and life had never been developed. The mental technologies, which did exist, psychology and psychiatry, were actually barbaric. False subjects, no more workable. Oh yeah, I forget they fucking hate.
Yeah, like actual psychology.
Because real psychology is gonna tell you that this is
fucking insane.
Fucked up attack therapy.
Whoops.
False subjects, no more workable than the methods of jungle witch doctors. Wow.
Whoa.
Ron shouldered the responsibility of filling this gap in the knowledge of mankind. Financing his early research through fiction writing, he became one of the most well-known and sought-after authors in the golden age of popular adventure and science fiction in the 1930s and 1940s. Perhaps that could be a clue to knowing the truth of whether this, knowing whether this is factual or not. Just saying.
I just looked it up here, and this man, and this is total, I just had a curious thought.
Yes.
So this is purely fiction books. This isn't even talking about the non-fiction, religious stuff he wrote for Scientology. Hubbard produced more than 250 published works of fiction in his writing career. That man was writing at a breakneck speed.
Literally.
Oh my god. Because his books are thick science fiction novels.
Good
That's
Lord.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. How are you doing that?
Yeah, I'm sure so much cocaine.
Oh, it's
you
gotta
gotta
be.
Imagine that man was strung out.
Fully. Yeah. I mean, it was the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Jesus. Wow. Okay. Throughout his travels, his formal studies, and his own professional activities, Ron never deviated from his primary purpose of providing mankind with workable technology to improve life. His research into the mind, interrupted only by his service in the U.S. Navy during World War II, brought him face to face with the source of life itself, the individual. He discovered conclusively that the common denominator of all life was the urge to survive, and that an individual could better his condition and rid himself of the pain and unhappiness that had come to be accepted as inevitable. The answer was Dianetics.
Of course, there it is. And again, maybe I've just seen too many grifters at this point to I don't know, maybe red flags don't go off on everyone else's head like
Right.
they do ours, but just the things of he found that individuals are the center of life, and we, our need to survive is what drives us, and it's I mean, yeah, kinda I don't know, that's just evolution, I guess.
Exactly.
But I don't know. It's
Yeah, it's all very much giving guy who had an acid trip, and which I do believe. Am I gonna say this correctly? I do believe it was L Ron Hubbard. Was part of like the MK Ultra shit.
Yeah, but like the voluntary stuff. That would make sense because I mean I think wasn't like Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead was for sure, right?
Oh
like,
yeah,
they were just getting acid from the government.
Yes. So I mean, it's like, is that what happened?
It's very possible. I don't know. We'll have to fact check that. But
yeah, because I can't remember if it was him or if it was the guy from Synanon. But now I'm thinking it might have been the Synanon guy. It could have been L. Ron Hubbard as well.
Let me look it up.
If not, also, he probably just straight up did do a lot of acid and thought that he was like having these crazy breakthroughs of like pretty base level knowledge.
Yeah, no, I'll look it up and see.
Great. Okay, the first manuscript containing the results of his early work was issued in 1948 in carbon copy form. It was copied and recopied by doctors and others throughout the United States and passed from hand to hand across the world. This original manuscript was later published under the title of The Dynamics of Life. As copies of it circulated, Ron began to receive a steadily increasing flow of letters asking for further information and more applications of his new subject. He soon found he was spending all his time answering letters and decided to write a comprehensive text on the subject. With the publication of Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health, in May of 1950, the exact fundamentals of Dianetics technology were made broadly available for the first time. This easily understood and workable technology of the mind, they love to use that term, spread like wildfire, and the book Dianetics continues to be immensely popular with people from all walks of life to this day.
So I found an article. It was a Reddit post, but it took me to an article, so I don't know. But it was just saying that L. Ron Hubbard regularly used cocaine, hallucinogens, barbiturates, amphetamines, peyote, and mescaline.
Oh,
so
well, this all makes
kind of a whole laundry list there. Yeah.
Fun cocktail of like 1960s drugs.
Oh yeah. Those were the big hitters.
Yes.
Back then.
Yeah, that's good times.
I know. Unfortunately, I feel like L. Ron Hubbard would have loved Adderall, like crushing a couple of those boys up and snorting it off of a fucking like sword or something.
Oh yeah,
like, he'd be hella into
he
that.
would be doing that. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine the destruction this man would have wrought if he had access to Adderall?
Oh, I mean, we'd be looking at another 250 books is what we'd be looking at.
At least. I mean, we'd probably be living in the United States of Scientology. The
United States of Hubbard.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's good. It's good.
Oh, man. All right. Following the release of this phenomenal bestseller, Ron was in even greater demand for lectures, demonstrations, and more information on Dianetics. But his explorations and continuing research led him further and further into the realm of the human spirit. Breakthrough after breakthrough followed, each pushing aside previously impenetrable barriers and opening up new vistas of experience. With the development of Scientology philosophy and technology in the early 1950s, Ron moved fully into the field of increasing the abilities of the spirit of man, discovering and devising exact workable procedures for smoothing the way to total spiritual freedom. Good Lord.
I was going to say, this is a long ass, like, about the author.
It really is.
Is this till the end of the book?
Yeah, I don't even...
Oh, okay, it's almost done. There's a
page.
glossary.
But still, good Lord.
Yeah, this is fucking long and hard to read, to be honest.
Yeah, truly. He continually perfected and streamlined not only the techniques of Scientology, but the speed and ease with which one could learn and apply this technology. One vital aspect of Scientology that Ron developed is ethics technology. Ron isolated the specific operating states in which people, organizations, and even nations exist, and he found the sequences of steps which must be followed to rise from the lowest of these states to the highest and stay there. Before Ron's research and discoveries in the area of ethics, success in life was chancy at best. But by making this technology known, Ron made it possible for people to predictably improve conditions in any aspect of their lives and the lives of their families and friends, and make success in life a certainty. And the way to do that was to give him a shit ton of money.
Oh, absolutely. I just don't think he like knows the right definition of technology, to be honest.
No, the way
like,
he keeps saying it is like
he kind of said that like psychology and like philosophy were technology, and I'm like, those are I don't know. Are you trying to say ideology? Like, is that the?
Yeah.
It feels like he thinks those are the same, and I hate to break it to you, but I don't think they are. I mean, we can get Daniel on the phone and see what he thinks, but Daniel's a big tech guy.
He would know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if they defined technology in the glossary here.
I would be, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem, I don't think you know what that word means, Ron.
No.
Not once?
No. The only word that he defined was, the only tech-related thing was just the shortened version of tech, which means technology.
But we don't know what he means by technology.
No. Yeah. Because I know, it does feel like he's like saying this in a very weird way.
I don't know.
I like to help others, Ron wrote, and count it as my greatest pleasure in life to see a person free himself of the shadows that darken his days. These shadows look so thick to him and weigh him down so that when he finds they are shadows that he can see through them, walk through them, and be again in the sun, he is enormously delighted, and I am afraid I am just as delighted as he is. L Ron Hubbard's works, including an astounding number of books, taped lectures, instructional films, writing, demonstrations, and briefings, are studied and applied in hundreds of Dianetics and Scientology organizations spanning every continent. Ron's lifelong purpose was to complete his research into the nature of man and his relationship to life, and to make it possible for an individual to recover full knowledge of himself, his origins, and his future. This goal was fully achieved. With his research fully completed and codified, L Ron Hubbard departed his body on January 24th, 1986. He has mapped the route to total freedom and made it available to all. Millions of people all over the world consider they have no truer friend. Wow.
I love that they like imply that he like finished up his work and was like, all right, and I'm done now. I must leave. As like he didn't just fucking die. Like
yeah. It wasn't due to, like, all the barbiturates and red meat he was eating.
The insane amount of fucking drugs he was pumping into his body at any given time.
He was just like, my work here is done.
Yes.
Wah, 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 and, like, floated out of his body.
Floated up while his fucking, like, jazz blues band was playing in the background.
Yeah. And then what's the alien thing called?
Like from the movie?
From Scientology.
Xenu?
Yes. Yeah, Xenu comes in and takes him up to the...
True.
To the, I don't know.
Whatever the fuck they...
Alien worlds of Scientology.
Oh, what a guy.
What a guy. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, we can, we'll look through this a little bit more and see if we can find any other bangers.
Yeah. We'll find some, like, really, juicy bits for you guys that are just, I'm sure there's some good shit in here. I doubt there's any of the Xenu shit in here, but I would like to find the book that does talk about Xenu, if it exists.
Me as well. I'm sure it's out there. Anyway, I'll keep scouring Savers.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, thanks for going through a little shorter episode with us, y'all.
Yeah, just a little tasty taste.
I thought I had written I'm pretty sure I did write a whole article for the episode, but it just is not on my Google Drive.
Unless you just fully hallucinated that.
It might have, no. Yeah. I too am strung out on amphetamines and barbiturates and mescaline and whatnot. So
so just a little technical malfunction this week, but we'll be back and better than ever next week. And I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Scientology. I don't know if you feel like you learned anything, but I certainly don't.
Feel stupider now.
I do. I really do. Well, thanks, y'all. If you want to follow our Instagram, you can at Remarks Podcast.
You can also follow us on twitter.com at remarkspod. My personal music is Taylor Lacey, and my personal Twitter is at Vegetable Trash.
My personal Twitter is at Phoebes Elise.
Also, huge thank you to our patrons. We have Eden.
We have Tere Soltero.
We have Andrew Vass.
Jameson Cherry.
Emily Doran.
And Justin Vass. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate you all so much.
You're so cute and fun.
You're the best.
You are our little babies.
True.
Okay.
We will cherish you for forever.
Forever. Well, thanks for listening. And K love you. Bye.